Cathy from NXgenPort.
My name is Cathy Skinner. I'm the CEO and co-founder of NXgenPort. NXgenPort is a Minnesota-based company. We're addressing an unmet need in cancer care by remotely monitoring patients in between treatments with an implanted smart port that detects early signs of infection by measuring changes in blood cell counts, heart function, and vitals. We joined the Mayo Clinic Platform Accelerate to gain a deeper understanding of the patient journey and how an implanted medical device coupled with hospital-at-home models can deliver the next generation of patient care. We're very excited about this program. We get data insights around assessing a patient's readiness for their next treatment, things that drive clinical efficiency, and data that will help improve health equity and access. We all know someone who's been touched by cancer. For me, it was my father. Like my dad, 50% of cancer patients undergoing treatment suffer from low white blood cell counts called neutropenia that lead to an infection and a delay in cancer-fighting treatment. These infections lead to hospitalizations costing $2.3 billion annually. Did you know that up to 50% of these hospitalizations could be avoided with early detection? Imagine the impact we could have on the lives and outcomes of cancer patients if we could detect early signs of infection even before they had symptoms. Current methods of monitoring cancer patients at home are missing critical health information. We've created a better way. NXgenPort is the first of its kind implanted smart port that detects early signs of infection by measuring changes in blood cell counts, heart function, and vitals. Used as a standard of care for decades, the ChemoPort is a delivery tool for the drugs that fight cancer. We've reimagined the port as a data tracking and monitoring device. In between treatments, our software as a medical device counts the blood cells to determine readiness for next treatment. We pass on the longitudinal data and equip the care team with real-time monitoring of patients at home. So how does NXgenPort work? We measure blood cells as they flow past our optical system in vivo. The data we collect is analyzed, and then we pass the findings off to the care team. Our team has decades of experience. I've been working in oncology for the last 15 years, first face-to-face with cancer patients, then with a digital health platform, and now with NXgenPort, where I focus on investor relations and strategic partnerships. Dr. Roseanne Welcher is a leader in companion diagnostics and cancer, and she was the key leader through the Mayo Clinic Platform Accelerate program. She's taken 50 products through the FDA, and she holds 16 patents. Kelly is our VP of Engineering. He has 30 years of bringing medical device products to market, and he holds 30 patents specifically in chemotherapy ports. John Slump is our board chair, and he's brought numerous medical device companies to market, and he's had 2 significant exits. We have a very active board with skills in oncology, medical device development, quality, regulatory, and strategic healthcare innovation. We bring value to several stakeholders. To patients, we alert them to changes in their health status, and by leveraging an implanted device that's autonomously gathering clinical data, we reduce the burden of frequent blood draws, and we gather other objective data points. For physicians, we provide them real-time data and alert them to potential adverse events. To hospital systems, increasing clinical efficiency by detecting early signs of infection and determining readiness of a patient for their next treatment. And by keeping cancer patients out of the hospital, we increase bed capacity for other high-value procedures. And for insurance payers, mitigating costs and providing a novel data set to assess risk. And for future models, we align with hospital at home. Our platform is a combination of hardware, software, and data. We gather those longitudinal data points and we analyze them and pass the findings off to physicians through an API that integrates with their electronic medical records. Then the care team takes action and contacts the patient before a problem like febrile neutropenia escalates to hospitalization. We had several goals for the Mayo Clinic Platform Accelerate program. First, product development. What could we learn from a cancer patient journey? We really wanted deeper insights. What was the workflow? What were the clinical protocols that physicians faced? And how could NXgenPort learn from structured and unstructured data? Health economics. How many cancer patients got a chemotherapy port? How many were diagnosed with neutropenia? And based on that data, how could that impact our value proposition? And could NXgenPort impact the cost of care? And finally, could we build and test a predictive model? We started with literature review and research around monitoring, as well as looking at the diagnosis of neutropenia. We had very impactful conversations with the subject matter experts that we met with weekly, as well as our medical mentors, Dr. Haddad and Dr. Ciantis. We were even introduced to a program that's currently underway here at Mayo Clinic called the Defender Program, that's measuring the impact of remote patient monitoring on cancer patients at risk for febrile neutropenia. Our data science team learned to navigate the Mayo platform. They discovered 300,000 cancer patients, 30,000 with a chemo port, and 6,000 with neutropenia. And while these data sets helped us with our program goals around product development and health economics, we still had questions about a predictive model. We started going deeper into the literature and started to ask, well, what could NXgenPort influence? Namely, patients with chemo ports and blood measures. We started to see that blood tests were linked to high risk. And so we used multi-layer DNN architecture for the modeling. And this is what we found. We focused on 8 blood test parameters. With the cancer patients who had a chemotherapy port, we found 3,408 patients that met those parameters. In our classification task, we considered patients with neutropenia to be positive cases and those without neutropenia to be negative. In the training and evaluating, we decided to divide the data set into 2 parts, 80% for training and 20% for testing. After training and by evaluating the model in the test data set, we achieved an accuracy of 82.1% to predict neutropenia in patients with those parameters. These data insights helped inform our understanding of current situation and future opportunities. For patients, we understood the number of tests that they had to take and the risk that they had for infection. And then what would that mean for them to be treated at home? For the clinicians, the high volume and workflow in speaking with Dr. Haddad and Dr. Ciantis and Nurse Sherry Looker come to understand the opportunity for clinical efficiency. And what would it mean for them to be able to devote their resources and their time and their energy to the patients that need them the most? For us as a company, our pathway is moving towards standard blood tests and measures of vitals. But through the program, we're able to see there's an opportunity to have a predictive model that proactively manages patients who are at risk. So what's next? For us, we're here seeking opportunities for pilots with care networks, so we can expand our patient data pool, expand and validate our model, and then mix that in with our digital health platform and test that in that environment. We have to send out a great big thank you to our data science team. They did an amazing job over the 20-week program. We want to thank our medical mentors, as well as the thought leaders and leaders of the Mayo Clinic platform, as well as the Mayo Clinic Platform Accelerate program with Eric and Jamie and Atul and your teams. Thank you so much. Along with this program, we're currently participating in MedTech Innovator. This program gives us access to industry leaders that are helping us in the next phase of our build around hardware, software, and preclinical study. With the data insights we gained from Mayo Clinic Platform Accelerate, as well as participating in MedTech Innovator, 2023 is our best year yet. And while we've hit several milestones, we're not done. So I invite you to join us as we're building a care platform with novel tools to proactively manage at-risk patients. Thank you.
Questions from Slido.
Let's jump up here. Oh, there we go. Thank you. So questions from Slido. What will be the financial impact of being able to predict the risk of neutropenia?
So the financial impact of being able to predict the risk of neutropenia equates to about $40,000 per patient per hospital visit. So if we can alert physicians and their care teams to an early diagnosis of neutropenia, we can help hospitals avoid that risk, as well as keep the beds open for more high volume and high value procedures.
Great. Why did you choose to leverage a port as a device to collect blood measures?
So we decided to leverage the port because it's been used for over 20 years. It's a standard of care. There's CPT codes, there's insurance protocols, surgery protocols, and it was ripe to be disrupted because there's space within the device. And the blood measure itself, absolute neutrophil count, is one of the main parameters oncologists use to make a decision to proceed with chemo or not proceed with chemo, as well as early signs of infection. So by measuring changes in blood cells, coupling that with changes in heart function and vitals, we create a data package that is already used frequently in the data points to make decisions around patient care.
And the final question here is, do you focus on specific cancer or cancer treatments?
So we are agnostic to the types of cancer. The guidance around the clinical protocol is which cancers get a chemotherapy port as a course of treatment. And from what we're seeing in some of our research, there's an opportunity to expand port utilization. The market is actually bigger than is currently provided, and it would ease the use of cancer treatments by using less vesicant treatments in the veins and reducing complications that patients feel with external and peripheral arteries, and bringing it to a chemotherapy port and creating an ease of use and patient comfort.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.